Take two! Hey everybody! We are Addicted to Loot, and I had everything on mute, so welcome to the very silent opening of this podcast. But we are Addicted to Loot, this is episode 70. I am yours truly, Atomic Zero, aka Brian, and my other loot addict over there is Tom, aka Tomality, and we are Addicted to Loot, a awesome, amazing PC gaming conglomerate, all living on addictedloot.com, Humble Bundle partners, and Greenman Gaming partners, mainly focused around this lovely podcast that goes out every week to you lovely folks out there in the world. Now, what we were talking about right before I realized you guys couldn't hear us is that we are actually talking about
We're having this great chat between the two of us.
But it was talking about a new feature coming to Twitch, which is Twitch Broadcasters, or basically it's a platform that allows people on Twitch to pre-produce something and play it live. So basically, like a movie producer could pre-make a movie, go on Twitch, show the movie live, almost like a premiere, and just be in chat with everybody and talk through it, which is really a cool idea. I'm actually kind of glad that they did something like this. I think it's a natural transition for Twitch, and like you were saying, that coming from someone who's usually more on the pre-production realm versus the live realm, it'd be far more comfortable to use.
Yeah, especially like for music production, like make a music video or something like that. You've arranged something that's a pre-made video, but you can have an actual premiere of it and be like, hey, here's the debut of this clip or whatever. So I think it's cool. I'm glad that they're offering it as a service.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how fast or how quickly it will take off, but I'm glad they're doing it. Hopefully it does well. I could see us potentially doing something with it in the future, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm glad that it's actually living in there. Okay, so what we usually do in this lovely podcast is we cover gaming news, or PC gaming news, so that's anything that's trending or anything that we just really like out in industry or any like major topics going on in the community. We then do a discussion on our playlist, meaning what we've been playing this week, what we either tried out, what we're starting fresh on, what we've completed, kind of in-game reviews, so on and so forth. And we always close the show out with our free game of the week. So this is a free game that you guys can go out and play as soon as you hear us talk about it here on this amazing podcast. So we're going to start out with our news. Throwback to the past. Minecraft is bigger, better, stronger than ever. Bigger, better, faster, all the things and above. Apparently, in the month of December, it had 74 million active players, which is insane.
That's a lot.
Is that your amazing color commentary?
Sorry, I'm responding.
But yeah, so Minecraft, which is a game we all probably know and love at this point, still going strong. Had about 40 million players present with 2 million concurrent players at its top peak. So it's kind of 74 active players mixed in throughout the month with upwards of about 30 million concurrently on all consoles. So PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all that fun stuff. Which is interesting considering I remember back freshman year of college, so that was 2012, when I still bought into the alpha of this game, and there literally was nothing more than just blocks and your guy and a few monsters. Like, completely unaware that this game would get remotely this far. I think I bought the alpha for like $5-10 to completely back it. That was the one nice thing, is that if you bought the original alpha, you got free access to every single iteration thereon after. And it was... I remember playing it, I remember liking it, but I never would imagine that I would have gotten like this large or this far, which is insane to think about, actually seeing a game develop from that point to 74 million players.
Yeah, Minecraft is funny because it's like, I feel like this is the game that I've seen the most people playing. Like, I'll be sitting in the audience of a show and there's a kid with a phone in front of me and I could see on their phone they've got Minecraft. There's somebody's talking about it. They're wearing a t-shirt on it. It's like, it is an absolutely world famous phenomenon. And I think this is great. I was just thinking about it not too long ago, like in the past 2 weeks. I was thinking, boy, I love Minecraft. I had a great time with Minecraft. I miss kind of being in the kind of the hype train of it, the rolling steam engine of oh, a new Minecraft update. Wow, we got this now, and oh, there's a chance for this thing to appear. It was discovery. It was really cool. And it's funny because typically I'm a creative person, and I should have been drawn to it because it's like, wow, you can build anything. But really what drew me most to Minecraft was like the survival aspect of it. I more preferred the idea of being this kind of weirdly really powerful but still behind the 8 ball kind of person, where it's like, yes, I can destroy trees and turn them into some sort of safe structure without too much effort, but I can't go out at night because I die. Like it was really fun, and I had a lot of fun, like kind of just...
Tom can't hear you any longer, which is weird. 1 second. Yep. Tom, can you hear me at all? I apologize, everyone. We are...
Yes.
Okay, I can just hear you now. So, for anyone that's out there watching us live, and maybe it might be apparent to the audio listeners in the future, we are battling some technical and connection issues tonight, so if you ever hear us kind of going back and forth, that's the reason why. So, but with that, you have anything else to say on Minecraft? Just want to make sure I didn't cut you off before anything.
I love it. I think it's a great game, and I'm glad it's still going strong.
Nope, definitely agree. And it was weird too, because I know people that played Minecraft specifically for just like the builder mode, which is purely just you can just basically give yourself as many resources as you want and just build and build and build. But I actually preferred the game, just like you, with the survival aspect of it, of the actual, like, guaranteed the very first night you're gonna pickaxe your way into like a very small crevice into a side of a mountain, put up a door, and just stay there in the pitch black until every single
absolutely. I loved that. I loved that.
Like that was always my favorite thing. Or like building. Like me and my one friend in college built like an international highway across the map to make sure that we could get to all of our resource nodes and various villages and things like that. Oh my god! But yeah, glad Minecraft still going strong.
Mutual friend of ours. Yeah, mutual friend of ours and friend of the podcast, Alec. He and I built this like elaborate treehouse structure that like could have been multiple treehouses. It was really cool. It just the sky's the limit. I remember really enjoying the official Game of Thrones Westeros. It's not like it was remade, whatever you want to call it, where they made Westeros in Minecraft. Yep. That's fun and crazy elaborate.
Going back to Overwatch, a game that we never actually talk about on this podcast. It's a shame we never actually cover it that much. But Overwatch is getting a big update with a lot of new things, which is interesting because all these new things, there's over 100 new cosmetic items that are going into the base game, meaning they're non-event cosmetic items that will just instantly go into a pool and they'll be permanent. It's just how it is, which is incredible because it's been a while. I don't think they've ever actually done something like this in the lifetime of Overwatch. So it's really interesting. They actually are still feeding into the base game for people that might not have been around for the original events and things like that. So we're going to kind of go through some of the highlights with these new skins and new highlights and things like that. At least the ones that they've given out. Let's just say like we have a new Lucio skin that looks kind of... I don't know. How would you describe it, Tom? Woody? Naturey?
Well...
They don't really give names for them, which is hard to say, because we just have to kind of, like, describe them ourselves. Looks like Lucio with a bunch of, like, almost like wooden rollerblades, which looks interesting.
Seems to have a sort of a Brazilian pride kind of thing going on.
Exactly. I was thinking, I couldn't decide between Jamaica or Brazilian, but yeah, I think that's right. Then you have Kabuki, Hanzo... which I think actually looks pretty cool. I actually like the skin a lot. Very much has like the the white war paint and the red markings and things like that. Really cool looking.
Traditional Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Then we go back into the Overwatch or the Blizzard World skins that we talked about last week, like the Butcher, the Young Reinhardt, new McCree skin, which is really just him in blue. So I'm not really sure what's new about it. They got a new Diva skin, which is really
Yeah, they basically they have some new epic tier skins, which are like they're not the epic tier in the game isn't technically
the pink
usually
layer.
a
Yeah.
change. It's mostly just a different coloration of stuff,
Yeah.
maybe to a flashier degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got that with McCree, you've got that with Zenyatta. There's a couple others.
Yeah, there's going to be there's going to be a whole range of it because of the fact there is over 100 going into this. The Diva skin, which I can't remember if it's legendary or epic, is basically completely. It's almost like goth pink purple Diva with cat ears and a cat tail and all sorts of fun stuff. Cool looking skin for Diva. I actually like.
Yeah,
that a lot.
it's a bit of a meme, but people are into that.
Mm-hmm. The Orisa one, which is the same one that we covered last week, which kind of like. I don't know if it's Egyptian or like, oh my god, like one of the people from StarCraft 2. That's what it looked like to me for some odd reason.
Yeah. Protoss.
Protoss, that one, thank you. Then we have a few other ones that are just epic level skins, meaning they just have different colorations to them. We have Reaper, who's getting a double skin, which is really, really cool. I really like the new Pharaoh one, the new Pharaoh Egyptian themed one, which I know isn't too far off of what they've done before, but I really like it. It's like a gold Egyptian theme one, which is really cool. And some of the new highlight intros, we have a few anyway available to us. There's a new Bastion one where he comes riding in on his tank form, transforms mid-air into his standing form.
Yeah, it's great.
It's probably, I don't know, that's probably my favorite one of the new ones. I think it's really, really cool. We have a soldier one where he basically sprints up to the camera, bashes it in the face, and then walks up to it and like looks mean at it. We have a Winston one where he's under fire. He goes, basically, he's under fire, his gun's on the ground, he does a little barrel roll, grabs it, and starts shooting electricity at the camera. Pretty cool looking thing. Tom's favorite, which is Anna, it's basically, there's a couple of explosions, she leaps away from the explosions, does a little roll, and turns back with the sniper scope up. All of which are pretty cool. I mean, they're all done a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's really flashy. It looks like it's something out of like a cartoon.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like I said, I've already been playing Overwatch a good deal the past, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. Just because, A, it was one of the events, and then I just got hooked, and I keep on playing. And now with this, I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing anymore. I think I might just be waiting for me to do the first Prestige of the night. I might go back.
Yeah, I've been purposely saving my Overwatch time. I think I mentioned this last week. Like, I'm ready for this update. This is a cosmetics update. This is my jam. This is what I play for. I play the cool skins, and it's such a weird thing because it's like then I unlock the skin and it's like, cool, my character looks awesome. I'm not going to play anymore.
Yeah, like, oh, I finally got the skin that I can use while I play my players. Yeah, I don't want to play them anymore.
Yeah. Now I'm done. I did what I needed to do.
No,
but I definitely want to see the Blizzard World map. That's something I'm really jazzed for.
Yeah, the Blizzard World map should be a lot of fun. I think that would be. I'm hoping to find all the little Easter eggs. I'm not sure. Like, I hope they designed it in such a way that allows you to enjoy all the little features of it versus just like, oh, here's a pathway of the payload and it's completely skipping out on like a whole corner of the map and that's like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm hoping they do a good enough job to actually balance the map to allow you to explore all of it. Going into a few things that I've added just for some fun, is going back into our, indie development portion of some of the stuff we usually cover. I mean, usually our free game of the week is a free indie title that we give out for you guys, but I actually wanted to cover a indie title that I've been watching. I haven't actually played it yet, but I've been watching it. It's really cool and getting a lot of traction right now, getting a lot of really good press. It's called Slay the Spire, which some of you might have already heard, but it's a card-building roguelike in the sense of you pick... There's eventually going to be 3 playable classes. Right now there's only 2 of them. One is just kind of like a battle rager, guy with a sword, just likes to get angry and bash things over the head. There's kind of a rogue that deals with a lot of, poison, stabbing, dodging, that kind of fun stuff. Not really sure what the third one's going to be, but it's a roguelike in the sense that you pick a track and you have to try to survive down that track to get to the boss. You beat the boss and you keep going and going and going and going. It's in early access, which not really sure how far into early access it is, but that is something that if you're going to potentially go out and buy this game, it definitely is in early access. I'm not really sure what the development pathway is. because he's pretty active, or the development team is pretty active, I should say. I mean, they've given out an update almost like once every at least 2 weeks for the past couple months, so it's pretty big. I mean, they're doing pretty good job with it.
Cool.
But one of the things that's interesting about it is that you start out with a base deck that just any character gets, and then as you play, things randomly drop to you, so you randomly add cards to your deck. So you get 3 cards at the end of certain battles, and you have to choose a card to then put into your deck. So you're kind of almost making your deck on the fly depending on what you get available to you. So you might run the rogue one time and make a poison deck, but then the next time around you don't get a poison card the first couple drops, and now you're building a spam deck or something like that. So it's really interesting little game.
Yeah, I like that.
And each time you play through and you get new unlocks, you can unlock new cards, you can unlock new relics, which are things that add on to your playthrough for that iteration, that basically say like, oh, you heal 5 hit points at the end of every single battle or something like that, or every time you rest you get a new card. So it's like there are little things that you can get that both help you and affect you and also harm you. So it's a really interesting little game. It's probably one that I'm eventually going to get, but it's kind of up my alley just because of the deck building aspect of it, and also, I mean, I'm waiting for Magic the Gathering Arena to eventually hit. Hopefully I'm on the beta list for it. So this is hopefully maybe going to be a little middle ground between then. But a really cool little game, Slay the Spire. I think go check it out. I mean, it's not as super flashy as one might hope, but the level of complexity with the actual deck building and strategy of, when do you defend, when do you attack, when do you use certain spells, how do you use your energy efficiently and all that fun stuff. I think it's a pretty cool game. Go check it out. It's available on Steam. I think it's $15, $20 right now. Probably well worth the money, especially if they keep on going with the early access. Going into a very intriguing news piece that came up, there's actually a new Steam competitor trying to launch. Now, I mean, there's a few other Steam competitors right now, or at least other marketplaces, like GOG, Green Man, stuff like that. So there's other websites that are trying to do this and other hosting sites that are trying to do this. But this one called RoboCash is from the people, or the CEO of inXile, Brian Fargo, and former Atari exec Lee Jacobson. They're trying to take on Steam with 2 main things. That is that you can resell your games. So if you had GTA 5 and you're like, I'm done with GTA 5, you could resell it for some value, almost like basically you going back to GameStop and doing turning in a used game for $3. But besides that, they're also going to incorporate their own cryptocurrency, so their own version of a Bitcoin within the software called Iron. Now, I'm not sure how all this is going to go. I don't know if it's like $1 equals 1 iron or €1 equals 1 iron, or how they're going to actually do it. If it's purely going to be something that you can use, like I resell a game to you, and instead of giving me money, you give me iron, and then the iron stays within the app itself. So it's almost like the status quo of money stays the same kind of thing. I'm not sure if this is ever going to gain traction or not. We just lost Tommy, so I'm going to keep talking. Hopefully he comes back in. There he is. So Tommy is back. Hooray.
I have no idea what just happened.
So you didn't miss much, so you're fine. But
hey, are we synced up again?
I think so.
Yay. Hey. Oh, yay. Oh, my God.
We're still talking
For
about...
those who might not have known, I've been like 5 minutes behind Brian this whole time.
You've been doing pretty good. At least I've been trying to leave you spot to jump in every once in a while.
Yay, it's working again. Holy shit.
But RoboCash, what are your thoughts on RoboCash?
Yeah, I would normally be really skeptical of this if it wasn't a fellow from inXile and a fellow from Atari. It's like these are respectable. Not that other things like this aren't respectable, but it's like inXile, they did Planescape, or Torment Ties of Numenera, rather. And Atari, obviously, Atari. But I guess I don't understand it. Is it like you buy the games through the marketplace and they have some sort of way of telling, you own this game, and if you sell it, we can shut off your access to it? Like,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how they're actually going to do that because I mean,
Yeah.
we almost like you activate a product code that's tied to your like for Steam, like you activate a product code that's
Yeah.
tied to your Steam username. So maybe they transfer the product code from one username to another username, so it basically cuts out the access of it.
I mean, I'm sure with enough dedication, someone could crack that like really easily. But maybe they
Probably,
just
but
got the right way to. And I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. Like I know they're like, oh yeah, you can mine it and stuff like that. I'm like, in my head, I'm just imagining like people with pickaxes in a cave. So I'm
yeah,
like, I
I don't
can't.
understand it either. But I mean, I think, and also I think the crypto market took a big hit recently. It seemed like the
I
value of Bitcoin plummeted over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I really don't know the first thing about it. So
No,
I see the headlines, and it's like Bitcoin, blah blah blah, drop. I'm just
mhm.
like, those are words. Yeah.
I worked with a guy who somehow got into Bitcoin mining. Like you buy a Bitcoin from really cheap from some guy who's selling it, and then you sell it to a person who wants to pay more than you just bought it for, and it's like this weird little like mini stock
Yeah.
market of value, which I'm not even sure. But yeah, so
It's like that
Robocache,
famous story of the guy who started with a paperclip and got a house or something like
yeah,
that.
basically it
It's
almost
from
seems like
trading
what
up.
it is. So Robocache, a new Steam competitor. Not really sure if it's going to go anywhere, but hey, good job for attempting to take down the big giant Steam giant. So, we are going to move
The
into.
juggernaut.
We're going to be moving into our playlist. We'll start out with me real quick. Mine's going to be short, sweet, to the point, just because I had a very busy weekend. So, I really the only new thing I really got was I popped back into Total War Warhammer 2 for the first time in a long time in excitement for the Tomb Kings expansion to drop, which is actually happening tomorrow. So that's Tuesday the 23rd for those who are listening to this in the future. Also, we're getting a free LC.
Future.
We're also getting a free LC new legendary lord for the Skaven. So that's another Skaven melee lord for clan Skroak. No, I already forgot it. But yeah, we're getting a new free LC legendary lord for this Skaven. So that should be kind of cool. And also they're including it within the same patch. So that's kind of nice of them. I'm not. Doesn't seem like there's going to be any new mechanics with the free legendary lord, but she looks pretty cool. So it should be fun. Uh, I had another one. Oh, I know we're a PC gamer, but I got for Christmas. I mean, I do technically own a PS4, even though my wife tends to use it more than I do. Uh, I actually did get Horizon Zero Dawn for Christmas, which is a PS4 exclusive open world game. And so far, I'm really liking it, but for what I played was mainly just the intro portion of the game, which is very much kind of on rails, minus like two chances to explore side quests. So everything else has been very narrative. And I just got to the point where it's just like,
Mm.
go into the world and be the savior. Doors slam behind you, and you're just like, So now I just do what I want.
Off you trot.
Okay. So I don't know how much I'm going to continue to like it now that I'm 100% in the open worldness of the game. In the sense of you kind of got a general direction to go. It's kind of almost like what they do in Fallout, where you like come out of the vault and then you just hear like on the radio, "Come to this town. It's to the right.
Yeah.
Look over here. Why are you going that
Yeah.
way, you idiot?" Like, and then from there you just do whatever the hell you want. Same thing with Skyrim. So I'm not sure how much I'm gonna like it past this point, but I like. I mean, the point of Horizon Zero Dawn was that there was it's almost like our own world advanced a couple thousand years to the point where the machines got smart and humanity fell, and the machines basically took over in the shape of being other animal, like almost like taking over the form of like animals and dinosaurs, and people went back to being primitive because of the fact that technology destroyed everything, and they had to go start back from square one. So the whole point of the game is that there is a unique combat and strategy to all the encounters with dinosaurs or with the animals, because they're all mechanical, and you have to like figure out where's their weak spot, what elements do you use? Do you use traps on them? Do you so on and so forth? It's fun. It was really fun in the beginning, but it kind of got somewhat of a Far Cry vibe with it. Not in the sense of obviously robotic, like Velociraptor is completely different than a bear, but you know what I mean. It almost seems like the same thing of wash, rinse, repeat. Go out, find a herd, kill them, collect the resources, build, and like you grind up and you advance that way. I mean, I like the uniqueness of the combat mechanics, but I need to get more into the actual open world before I can really decide if I'm going to like this game or not. I liked it going into it, but it's going to be interesting. It has some pretty cool customizable mechanics.
Alec has talked very favorably about it in the past, and I know that he, like me, is a big fan of Far Cry, so I don't know if there's a thread there, you know.
A direct correlation, yeah, I'm not sure, but I know Horizon Zero Dawn was probably the best PS4 exclusive that came out last year, which is why I wanted to play it. I knew a ton of people, including Alec, just absolutely raved about the game, so I was really interested to get into it and try. So I'll keep people updated, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm optimistically skeptical, but we'll see. Besides that, I'm playing the same stuff I was talking about last week. I'm parting my way through StarCraft 2. Haven't played Darkest Dungeon in a little while, and also playing just more and more Overwatch. Every couple of days, I spend like an hour playing it just because I'm trying to get those 3 stupid loot boxes. And it's weird because I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because it always happens to me. Sometimes when I get my 3 free chest unlocks, I can do all of them in like a half hour, just like 9 straight wins and done. Another time, it takes me 5 days to get 3 wins. I'm just sitting there just like, oh my god, why? And it's a mixture of it's a mixture of the other team just being incredibly good, and also just either the luck of the random pool for all random heroes, and also quality of your team versus the quality of another team. But yeah, I'm actually at the point now where I don't know if it's because of my rank or just because of everyone else has just been continuously playing the game, and I've just been taking a giant long break, that I feel like the overall skill level is so much higher that it's good and bad, because it's bad because it's infuriating, but also good because it's pushing me to try to get better. So I guess it's a double-edged sword.
Well, I've talked about before how basically my favorite time to play Overwatch, which works out well for my schedule, is like 4:00 in the morning, because the only other people who are playing at that time do not care at all. They don't care how the game goes. They're playing it. They're like, what you would expect at 4:00 in the morning. It's a cluster of us that are just like kind of there because I'm here to get my loot boxes and I enjoy this game, and let's goof off in the loading zone before it starts. And there have even been matches where it's a legitimate match, and like both teams run to the middle, and we all just start spamming like hello, hi, hello, hi, and that's the 4 a.m. Overwatch crowd. That's been that way since it came out. And because I'm curious how.
Go on.
I was going to say there's an influx of people that seem to be really interested, probably because of the promotion behind this update, and a lot of the skins, like stuff like the Diva one, are attracting a certain type of people that are like, maybe, I'm not really super into Overwatch, but I'm into that aesthetic, so I want to play it just because that's cool. So they seem to be reaching out to more people than they usually do, which is surprising considering how like all-encompassing Overwatch is by default, So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out tomorrow with like, you're probably going to see a lot more people sign in than you usually get.
Probably. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. But that closes out my playlist, and Tom's been a very busy beaver. So, Tom, take away your incredibly long, hard-to-type-out playlist.
I literally played all of this on Friday, which is what's funny. It's like, Friday is just, it's become my, because that's like when my quote-unquote work week ends, and it's just like Friday night, I wake up, it's like, all right, I've got some indies on my plate, I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to progress in Okami, and I'm going to do this and do that. But a couple of things that I played that I really am excited to talk about. Both of these first two that I'm going to talk about have been free through Humble. I believe they still are. But these are otherwise what are their kind of curated Humble original games. So it's like Humble's actually producing, they're not producing some games. So they actually came out a few months ago, but they just recently went up for free as, I guess, sort of a teaser to like, hey, you like this? Buy into the Humble monthly kind of stuff. Hiker, and actually it's a first episode of it, and this is called First Hitchhiker First Ride, and it's a very cool 100% atmospheric kind of thing where you're a hitchhiker, you've gotten into a truck with a guy, and it's all told from the perspective of you, kind of like the guy's talking, and you have a few little vocal things where you can choose what to respond to a specific narrative. And it's kind of like a more accessible version of what Kentucky Route Zero does, where Kentucky Route Zero is like very high literature, big stage kind of level of surrealist. This is like, it's drawing from that like Americana folklore, if there's a word for it, I guess, where it's the inherent weirdness of like rural farms and like quiet country roads, and that, you know what I mean? Like the surrealism that only can exist in like Nebraska. And so the guy who's picked you up is this farmer, and he starts talking to you, and he's kind of waxing nostalgic. A lot of people compare it to like Twin Peaks. I've never watched any of Twin Peaks, so I know, and I should be like, but so I guess that's something, if that means anything to anyone. And then he starts talking about kind of who you are, and it turns out, not to spoil anything, but it turns out he knows. You don't know why he knows immediately. And so it's kind of a cool, like, I don't know if they're going to be pulling something like, oh, you have amnesia or what, but he knows more than he lets on, and it's kind of surreal things start happening with storytelling and changing what you see. Like there's a really cool moment. This is early on, so it's not really any kind of like a spoiler, but he talks about how, you know, he's doing the thing where he's just kind of musing out, like I do, and he's saying, you know, it's funny how memory works. Is like you could be, and you know, you could control the camera of your head, you know, in the game like you would with any other first person game. You're sitting in the past, and so he's talking. He says, it's funny how memory works. Like you, at some point in the future, will think back about this moment right here where I'm talking to you. To think, you know, are you going to remember this moment? Or are you going to remember this moment? And it flashes back to like where you were looking 10 minutes ago. He's like, remember this moment. And then it flashes back to like where you were looking 15 minutes ago. And then it comes back. It's like, makes you think, doesn't it? And it's just like, you know, and are you going to remember it correctly? And of course you got billboards that say like, don't trust hitchhikers, things like that. So it's really cool. It's a cool little thing that if it is still free, definitely go check it out. If it isn't, it's worth your time. I think it's a neat little thing. The other thing that I played, again, was part of this, is something called THOR.N, so that's Thorn. And this was really cool. This is a very small but specific thing. And let me know, by the way, if my audio like completely craps out or anything, if you need me to repeat anything. You're muted.
Seems like it's getting better.
Okay, that's good. I apologize to everyone. I don't know why we're having technical problems tonight, but it's good it's happening during a shorter episode.
Exactly.
So Thorn tells a very specific kind of dystopian thing very well. And I'm going to break kind of one of my golden rules. I'm just going to talk about the entire game. Usually I don't like to spoil the whole game thing because I want people to experience it. But this is just so cool that I got to talk about it beginning to end. So you wake up in a room and there's this giant, like, it's not like doing anything. It's not mechanical, but there's a giant like head in a wall, like would be a robot head or an AI head. And there's a voice, this kind of omnipresent voice that's like, wake up, it's your big day, it's your birthday, today's the day you finally can start to become a citizen of our great country. And it tells you to come over to a computer and it says, click the button on the computer to begin, your celebration. And there's like a big colorful present icon. You click on it and she goes, congratulations, happy birthday. Oh, it's been so great watching you grow up. And it's just, it's like so colorful and beautiful and sinister all at once. I love it. And she says, please enter into the next room to begin your right to citizenship. And you go into the next room. And it's like you could tell all the stuff in the room that you were in was like you were a little kid in that room. You drew on the walls. It has like little drawings and stuff. And then you were a teenager there. You could tell that this is where you grew up. And then you enter this room, very clean, very aesthetically pleasing. If you've played Mirror's Edge, like you think of the colors, how it's like bright blue, bright red,
super
clear,
vibrant, super clear.
Yeah, incredibly crisp. And you enter it, and there's like 4 computer terminals, and she's like, this voice is talking to you and saying like, all you have to do are perform these actions, and then you too can become a citizen. And then she's like, oh, hold on a second. Then it completely changes tone. It's like, citizen 4521 has begun path to citizenship. And then it comes back and it's like, okay, so walk up to the first computer, and you get 3 icons, and it's like, start process, continue process, end process, basically. And you click the first one, and a box shows up on a treadmill, goes into the middle. Click the second one, it's like processing. Click the third one, shipping out. And it says on it like uniforms. And so you're doing this, and she's like, this is great. Wow, this is wonderful. And you're just doing it. And you're getting the vibe that's like, I am doing the dirty work for a dystopian society. Holy shit. I am one of a billion cogs in this machine. Oh my God, And then it's like, congratulations, you've unlocked the second tier. You can now do food rations. And it's like, so you're now managing both of them, just going over and clicking these giant buttons and walk back and forth to the terminals. And then it's like, as you level up, you get experience. It's like, it's so cool because it's taking like video game things and putting it in like, what if this was in a dystopian world? And then the third terminal is like heavy munitions. And it's like, and so as you upgrade, like with the uniforms, she's like, congratulations, you're a level 5 uniform presser. You're really great with clothes. And the food one, it's like, wow, you've fed so many people. And then the bombs one, it's like, you are a murderous killing machine. In this like peaceful, happy tone.
Hooray, good
and then
for you.
Finally you hit what would be like level 15 of all of this. And she goes, oh, carry on. And this whole time you've been doing it, she's been saying things like, there are some who disagree with our country and the way that we run it, but we'll show them, won't we? And it's like so creepy. No. I love it. And so when you hit level 15, one more door unlocks. And she's like, congratulations, you can now go and become a citizen. And you walk through the door and you hear an air raid siren. And she's like, please remain inside your room. And a bomb just takes everything out. And it's like, citizen failed. It's just like your benevolent dictatorial country was attacked. And so it just is like just this one concise experience of this really cool, really creepy. I love it. Like, because it was so colorful, and it's like, this is how it would be. This is what it would be like. It'd be like, here are these big glossy buttons for you to press with your dumb lizard brain, just do what you need to do. And I loved it. I thought it was such a cool thing. So I apologize for talking about the entire game. I do think people should check it out. Again, that's another one that if that's still free, go check it out. And if not, check it out anyway.
It sounds like a very Tommy game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I've been playing, I picked up over winter, Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People, which I had actually not played. So I only played the first episode of it. This came out 10 years ago now, actually. For those who might not know, this is Strong Bad of Homestar Runner. Homestar Runner was, kind of feels weird to talk about it. Homestar Runner was an internet cartoon series in the early mid 2000s. Absolutely loved it. I feel like everyone knows about it, but I'm constantly surprised when like I'll make a Homestar Runner reference and someone's like, "What? Who is this? What is that?" But yeah. So Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People is actually a Telltale game using Homestar Runner characters, and it's very much, at least the first episode, feels like Telltale finding their way. Like from a development perspective, it's fascinating because it's got a lot of elements of point and click games, like from prior to that, like the 90s, like Monkey Island kind of point and click. So it's the sort of, this logic only makes sense if you have to use a walkthrough. Like it's like I never would have figured out that I got to use this on that to make this happen. But then you do it, and it's like that's what point and click games were like.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, of course you have to use the duck on the grass clippings in order to get the turtle to such and such. It's Telltale has very much changed what that kind of game could be like, where it's now become a more like adventure narrative / quick time event thing. I think The Walking Dead is really what did that. Like that was the segue, because then you have like The Wolf Among Us and stuff, which are just like almost pure narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dialogue choices. It's what do you say to who kind of stuff, which I greatly prefer. But so yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really love it. And I love Homestar Runner.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
huge
interesting to hear.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Homestar Runner. And again, this is only the first episode of like 4 or 5. And I did read some stuff online where people said like, oh, 2 is better than 1, play through it and it gets better kind of thing. It felt just a little bit too point and clicky. Again, like drawing from that, like the jokes wear thin when you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do though? Like, or what you're supposed to do, but for some reason it's not working. And It's like, oh, it's because of the order I have to do it in or something. Like you can figure it out, but it's like not the execution or something. I was struggling to like really dig it. I mean, obviously there's a lot of Homestar Runner references and in-jokes. I think you have to be a fan of Homestar Runner in order to enjoy it. I think otherwise you'd just be like, I don't get this. Like, it wouldn't be as funny,
Mm-hmm.
You might say, okay, this is a colorful world. But if you understand Homestar Runner, I mean, Strong Bad himself is inherently funny. Like one thing that I really liked that I don't ever see in games is that if another character is like just doing a random bit of like NPC dialogue, just like, oh, I'm standing here and saying something like NPCs do, and you cut him off as Strong Bad, he will say something like, shut up! Or he'll be like, my turn! And it just cuts them off mid sentence, instead of like letting their dialogue play out. He's just like, okay, it's me now, which was really funny. But again, it's like, you wouldn't understand like why it's such a big deal that Strong Bad is sitting down and answering an email, or why did this character act this way? Why does this character not talk? Why is this character why do they look this way? It's, you have to, I think, kind of understand the Homestar Runner world, which is great. I love it. But I'm gonna continue playing it. It felt weird to like kind of be playing it and saying, I'm not really actively enjoying this. I'm just kind of doing it because it's like, oh, I like the Homestar Runner. I guess I'm kind of waiting for it to pay off or something. I don't know. I'll certainly be playing more and reporting in later. And the last thing, which is a bit of a stretch here, but we talk about all sorts of games. So I have been playing, as of just yesterday, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
The first
now,
one.
About a year ago, yes.
The original one.
About a year ago, I picked that up and had started playing it. And I don't know if I talked about it, but it was like I was struggling to kind of get it to be optimized well on my computer. I was like, because it's an older game. This is, of course, BioWare's like highly beloved Star Wars. Yeah, kind of paved the way for like stuff like Dragon Age Origins, things like that. This was prior to that, and I was like having a hard time getting into it. It's like, there's a fun game here, but I'm not like enjoying like the interface of it. And so 2 days ago, I think I had mentioned last week, I got a new phone, and I'm looking around just kind of saying, well, I'd like to have something kind of meaty to play on a phone, something like really substantial. I was looking at Baldur's Gate, things like that. And then I saw that KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, is on phones. And I'm looking at the interface of it, I'm thinking, well, this looks perfect. This looks like this could be great. And it is. It's wonderful. I've been playing Knights of the Old Republic in bed on my phone, and it's fantastic. So I've only just started. I'm not even as far as I was with the little bit that I played on PC last year, but $5, I'm running it on a, it's a new phone, but holy shit, it works.
And is
It
this
works
all,
really well. It's
is this,
great.
Is this all touchscreen control?
Yeah. It's just adapted perfectly. I mean, it's the exact game. It's not like it's not like they remade it. It's a port of it, but it's been adapted so that, to move, you just hold on the screen and move your thumb up. You slide up to run, and dialogue just fills the whole screen.
But how about
the buttons for because it's
go on.
The what?
I was going to get into combat, but just keep going on your thought.
Yeah, well, that I was going to say is the combat in the game is kind of almost turn-based. Weirdly, it's like you sort of just select an enemy, and it's like attack him. Like an MMO, you select the enemy you're going to attack, and it's like, all right, attack him. Oh, throw a grenade, or use this ability. But because it's kind of a low-key combat system, and at its core, it's an RPG. Mm-hmm. It's a game that's much more about walking and talking kind of stuff.
No, definitely.
Then it's just like a dream come true. I wouldn't want to play, and I've played on phones before. I've played like actual shooters like that require you to aim, and it's okay. But this is certainly like a dream come true. It's a 60-hour game that I could just pull out, play a little bit of, put it away. Oh, love it. Absolutely love that. But I've been experimenting with a whole bunch of different stuff on the phone, which it's great to have a new one because I had a good one like 4 years ago, and I was enjoying playing games on it then. It was before we had this, so I would have been talking more about mobile games. But it's good to be getting kind of back into that because that's kind of another passion of mine in the video game world.
That's really interesting. That it is a game that seems like it would yield itself pretty well to a mobile platform. It's just surprising that they actually made it work control-wise. Because I remember doing all the same thing that you would kind of simulate with Dragon Age Origin, where you do a lot of commands, you hit stop, you do a lot of more commands, you hit stop. You know what I mean? Like you hit stop and go,
right.
Stop and go, stop and
That's
go.
The other thing. It has that. Yeah, it has that pause play combat, which is again perfect because exactly what you're saying. It's perfect on a phone because maybe you just are like, oh no, wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Pause. Okay, specifically, I'm not using a stylus. I'm using my fingers. So, I also, like I kind of mentioned, I was looking at Baldur's Gate 2, and also Planescape Torment are all on mobile. And everything I'm reading, because I was going back and forth, I was looking at reviews and Reddit threads, and because my phone's a 5.5 inch screen, and people were saying like, how does this adapt? The buttons are just small enough that I feel like they might be annoying. And people have said, oh, I play with a stylus, it's fine. Or, oh my God, I played on a 7-inch tablet and it was too small. So I think maybe it comes down to preference. But there's just shots of it and saying, I could see myself being like, oh, select inventory. Do you want to kill this character? What? No, I'm just trying to look at my inventory. All right, everyone's dead. No! So, but I would like to, because it'd be cool to have a nice big fantasy RPG too. I do want to say, because I forgot to mention this, I played like the opening bit of Planescape Torment just because I wanted to see what it was like.
Okay,
and
yep.
When I finally do play that game, it was just like, I know I'm not going to get into it now, but I just want to see, like, sometimes like I'll get a game and I just open it up just to make sure it all runs, and yeah, I loved Torment, and this is a game that came out before that, back in '97, I think. So yeah, gonna be good. That's a teaser for a later Tom to enjoy.
Oh, future Tom. Oh, the adventures you may have. Whew. Yeah.
Oh, the adventures.
And getting on to our super incredible, exciting, I swear it's exciting, free game of the week! I forgot to it! Sorry, I've hit
You're nodding off like it's been one of our longest episodes. This is literally our shortest episode ever.
I hit a wall like at around 3 o'clock today, and I have not recovered. But a free game of the week!
Oh,
yeah! It's excitement, energy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's the free game of the week, a game that you can go out and play right now, absolutely free. Just go to our show notes on addictedloot.com, and you can play this game. And this week, we are hosting featuring Jurassic Explorer. What is that, Tom? What is it?
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
Yes.
Take it on,
Jurassic
Johnny.
Explorer is it's a walking simulator. There's no way around it. But it is a remake of the Jurassic Park as featured in Jurassic World. Jurassic Park. That's all hyphenated. So it's Jurassic Park from Jurassic World. So I guess Jurassic World is the proper name of it.
Probably.
Yeah, because that's what it's called now, right? Because I can't remember if it's actually still called Jurassic Park or if they just
Jurassic World was when they went back and fixed it all up and made it bigger. So...
Yeah. This is Jurassic World. Because it was really weird because I'm walking through it. I'm like, oh my god, the movie from 2 years ago. I'm like, oh, this is pretty much exactly it. It's the theme park. It's completely empty. There's like 2 dinosaur scripted sequences where you can go and see the T-Rex and the one that comes up out of the water.
Yeah,
I can't remember, Megalodon or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And yeah, something like that. Mama Dino. And but it's just cool. I love that it's completely empty, unfortunately, but it just tickles the senses to be walking around anything that's like, oh yeah, there's a Starbucks and a Margaritaville on the corner, and then this way to the dinosaur petting zoo. It's just like, yeah, this is cool. They got a great take on the kind of center building, where you walk in and it's like the panels and the exhibits, and it's like, oh, here's where we hatch the eggs, and here's where we keep the amber and stuff like that. So don't go in expecting like a thrill a minute kind of experience. This is just something to go in and hang out in, and it's got like a loudspeaker saying like, the Mastodons and the Brontosaurus will be playing at 3:30 p.m. in IMAX, and I love it. It's great. So that's Jurassic Explorer. Yes, I just had to make sure that's what it was called. Our website. Sorry for the short episode, guys, and for any technical issues encountered along the way.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shorter episode. We had a few technical issues, but overall still went off without a hitch. Hopefully we have a little bit more to report on next week. A little bit of a news dry spell, but we have a few things in store in case we have another kind of news slow week next week. But as always, you can join us here each and every week, and you can get all the information at our website, which is addictedloot.com, where you can get everything you could ever want with Addicted to Loot. You can get links to our... Ever. You can get links to our Twitch so you can watch us live, which is we put out a notification every week when we're going live to record our podcast. That is twitch.tv/addicted-to-loot. You can get links to all of our audio hosting platforms, which is iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. All those have the show notes with links to everything that we cover, including the free game of the week. So if you actually want to go read the articles that we read, you can go over there and do that. You can get links to our Steam group, which reveals all of our reviews and curations and playlists. We announced that last week. It is a great platform to go and check out all the games that we talk about, as well as just any games that we've ever played, whether or not we recommend them to any of you guys out there. You can also find our itch.io curator playlist. What's it called?
Collection. That's I keep forgetting it. It's a collection.
Our itch.io collection, which features all of our free games of the week that are featured on itch.io. Finally, you can get all the different sorts of ways to communicate with us. You can get our website, which is addictedtoloot@gmail.com. If you ever want to drop us an email, hey guys, you're awesome, what's up? If you have a question for us, you have a game you want us to cover, or even if you want to come on the show, please let us know on email. If email is not your style and it's more of a Twitter kind of thing, you can communicate at us at addicted2loot. That is addicted2loot, where we post all of our general announcements and feedbacks, things like that. So if you ever want to know when we're going live, you can pay attention to our group Twitter. If you ever just want to talk at either one of us, we each have our own individual Twitters that we are on most days, if not every other.
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Exactly. And we just go and talk all sorts of things on the internet. So I'm at ATL_Atomic0, and Tom is at TOMALITY. That is at Tomality. And as always, we have been Addicted to Loot, episode 70.
And until then, keep it short and sweet.
Tasty.